Alright, let's see. Cool, this is Foundry Update 1. I've decided to end this run here at this point. There's some stuff I would have liked to do extra, mostly on the cosmetic side, but performance isn't too great right now, and my understanding is performance is a focus for the next update, so I might continue this run on the next update, or I might just start a new run and do stuff better, I guess. So this is a build that pushes 64 per minute science. And if you look at the science here, it should be 48. It's 47 currently because it's still saturating. It should be 48 active research labs because each of them take 45 seconds to process the science packs for the infinite research, which means 64 per minute divided by 4 times 3 is 48. So I'm just gonna go through like what this build is and what this build isn't. There is a late game tech in Foundry called blast furnaces that increases efficiency for smelting ore, and I did not do that. I decided to just build a whole bunch of smelters instead, which you can see here, just to kind of have a benchmark of what blast furnaces do for a run. The next time I do a run, I'm going to do blast furnaces just to be able to compare, and having this run handy to be able to open just from a performance perspective, and also like how long it took me to build is a great resource to have. So let's start the tour. Oh, it's just nice sunrise as well. Here is where all the ore comes in. I devised this monstrosity where each of these is a landing pad. Each landing pad has 4 belts coming out of it, and they are fed by veins as well as ore patches all across the map. I have it in such a way that some of them are permanent and some of them I know I will have to replace the nodes at some point. So all in all, there are up to 6 platforms for Xenoferrite. Oh, pronounce that right. Up to 6 platforms of Technum, and then 2 for mineral rock and 2 for ignium. If I was using blast furnaces, I would need more ignium, but as it is, this is kind of like a distribution that crushing the ore, the T2 or processing would need for a balanced build where all the science packs are being made equally. So all in all, I actually have, if I'm not mistaken, 22 Xenoferrite belts, ore belts, well, ore rubble, and then 20 Technum, 8 ignium, and 5 mineral rock. 1 is going straight to the concrete over there. It's not the full capacity of these platforms, but I just like overbuilt just in case I needed it. So all that goes right down kind of the center to the smelting area like I talked about earlier. So the way this works is 10 belts go here and 10 belts go here for Technum. It's 5 stories each. Each story processes 2 belts. It goes in, gets smelted, and the 3 belts of rods come out. So the crushing, this mid-game technology, basically increases the efficiency of the conversion of Xenoferrite, I mean the ore rubble, in this case Technum ore rubble, into the product, in this case rods. And the other side it does the same thing for plates. Plates I only have 5, which is 10 belts in and 15 belts out of Xenoferrite plates. And the other 12 ore rubble is going into the steel here. It's been combined with the ignium, make 6 full belts of steel. When I say belt, it's 640, the Mark III belts. So that's the smelting. And right next to the smelting, the product that comes out, it goes straight into electronics production for the Technum rods. So each of these floors take 4 Technum rods in, produces 2 electronics. It's basically kind of a combined. This part does wires, and the wires feed straight into electronics, and it's all inline and it's very neat. So I never ever have to worry about wires. It's just straight up electronics come out. And from electronics, half of it goes to circuits, and the other half goes to the maintenance drones. I'll come back to this later. But yeah, so that's the Technum side of things. The other side would be Xenoferrite. Holy cow, the FPS is getting almost unplayable at this point. So the plates go straight into machine part production. So each of these levels are 4 belts in, as can be seen here. And on the other side, 4 belts of machine parts come out, and they're distributed wherever they need to go. So these go to research, if I'm not mistaken, and a lot of it goes straight to advanced machinery parts over here. We have 2.5 floors of that, which is being fed by the steel. 5 belts of steel go in here, and 1 more belt of steel goes to, if I'm not mistaken, science as well. So yeah, that's advanced machinery part production. All of it is adjacent to each other, just to reduce the amount of belting going on. Then I'm gonna segue over to that side because concrete is part of SP3, and this is where my concrete production takes place. It's just being fed by directly from there, the mineral rocks coming in. Each of this makes 192 concrete, each of these quadrants. So 4 times 192 for a total of, my maths is so bad, 768 concrete total, which is exactly how much I need for Science Pack 3 production. 64 per minute of Science Pack 3. Water is coming all the way from over there. That's concrete. Then on this side we have cell production. This is a chonker of a building. I kind of like to make these inline production chains where all I need to worry about is raw resources, in this case electronics. I'm mass producing electronics, so I can belt them in. Mineral rock, and then plates on top here. All this goes in. There's some ignium coming from my landing pads as well. It all gets produced in line, and cells come out straight away, so I don't have to worry about any of the in-between products, the gravel, the glass, and the oil product that's being produced. All of my product, if I'm not mistaken, it would be, let's check. Oleic acid, that's it. So all of that goes into the fluid assemblers, and cells come out. No fuss. So basically, it's kind of a what I call a black box production, and each of these floors make 360 per minute. The 4 floors will be 1280 per minute. No, that can't be right. 1440 per minute. That's correct. Yeah, 360 times 4, 1440. And it's carried by 3 belts out. These are the cell belts going back wherever they need to go. Which in this case, it goes to most of it goes to machine drone production, and then some of it goes to the Science Pack 4 over at the back here. But yeah, the drone production building is one that I'm kind of proud of. Holy cow, the frame rate is so bad that the electronics don't even look like they're moving. These are going at the full belt capacity, which is 640 per minute, but it looks like it's going backwards very slowly. I promise you, it's a full belt going from right to left, including the cells. The cells are going from right to left in there as well. There you can see there's a little gap in the belt because something or another is running out. But it's okay, because I'm overproducing M drones by right now. So this building, each of them produces 160 per minute of the maintenance drones, which are being sold. They go into the warehouse and they get sent up to the space station to be sold for Thermalite sheets, which is basically a core part of the game. And the recipe for this, why I'm so proud of it, is one drone takes, let's see, 5 electronic parts, 4 advanced machinery parts, 1 cell, and 1 circuit, which means each of these floors take 160 of circuits and cells, then 200 of the electronics, and 160 of the machine parts. So each floor has one full belt of machine parts coming in here. It's really hard to see because of the frame rate, but what happens is one full belt of cells 640, it comes in here, goes this way, and it goes this merry way down this spiral, goes back this way, goes down this spiral again, goes back this way, goes down the spiral, and then one last one. So each of them takes 160, so it's 640 total. Same thing for the circuits. It goes in this way and then it just zigzags back up again. And the way the electronics work is you have one belt, one full belt servicing 16, and then a supplementary belt servicing the other 4 for 200 total. Sorry, 800 total to make the 160. 160 times 5 is 800, yeah, so the math is correct. And then all the product machine, the maintenance drones, it kind of circles around, comes out here, goes down, circles around this way, then goes down again. It kind of uses the same footprint as the electronics belt coming down. It just interlocks very nicely that way. Comes this way. It's kind of backing up here because of the amount of drones I'm producing. And then down, and one last floor it goes. And it fills up to a full belt, 640, which goes on its merry way to, like I said, the warehouse here, which is selling them on to the space station. I really apologize for the frame rate. I wish I had a more beefy PC or whatever I could do to make the frame rate better, but it is what it is. So the drones get sold. It gets turned into thermalite bars, which come back down on these 5 warehouse requester pads. Each pad outputs one full belt, and they get sent mostly down to this production area. So each outlight furnace takes 1.25 belts of thermalite bars, and I got 5 belts coming in, so 4 of them take 5 belts, and I kind of balanced it so that each one gets one full belt and then a quarter belt. The middle one is divided into 4, and then the ratio is 1 arc furnace to 8 casters, so that's all handled pretty much within the design itself, and all the parts come out and goes wherever it needs to go. And really quickly, this is the Science Pack 5 parts production. Here is where CPUs are made, 8 chemical plants worth to feed 64 per minute science, and then 32 of the piston fluid assemblers to feed, again 64 per minute science 5. And over here, just because there's no other place better to put it, is my the robot part production. Like if I ever scale up robots, I can just like extend this building and make a lot more robot parts. Same for if I start like needing more pistons, I can just like start layering up. But right now this entire build is just selling maintenance drones and doesn't really use any robot parts at all, which I will vary up if I ever like run again on this this particular version of the game. Like if I ever like play this particular version of the game, I will not like put everything in the same spot. I will just distribute the build just so that my FPS is not in the single digits. It's really hard to even build stuff because it's hard to aim and stuff like that. So yeah, all those together, like a lot of these product, it goes into the actual science production. So this is my research building. For literally no reason at all, I decided to configure my research labs in a spiral where it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So each round is 16 research labs, and I have 3 layers of that. So here's another 16 for 32, and 36, 40, 44, and 48. So technically I only need up to here, but I built 4 extra just in case I forget to queue up or like make the next research go when I finish one research. So at least I have 4 extra labs that can chunk through the backlog of the research that I have. interesting, it went to 49, so I guess it kind of hovers around 48, sometimes 47, sometimes 49, just because of yeah, it's not really stabilized yet. Like the packs are not being made equally. I'll say not being made equally. They are all being made at 64 per minute, but they're not being made at the same time. So I'm assuming some of them back up and then the others come later, and then it just ends up, some of them end up in this one, and then this one starts making signs. I'm assuming if I took out these 4, then they would backlog sooner, and then we'd have a stable 48 instead of fluctuating around 48. So yeah, that's a build. Oh yeah, I didn't go to polymer, so each of these things, each of these halves produce a full belt of polymer. There are 20, let me think, 22 casting machines total. It's slightly more than what's needed for 640 per minute, but it basically saturates itself, and then it doesn't draw more than it needs to. So I have 3 full belts of polymer being made here. It's like 1, 2, 3. I like these builds because it's really easy to think in terms of belts. Like I know each of this is 4 machine part belts out. Each of this is 2 advanced machine part belts out. And then each of these smelters has a 3 belts out, as you can see here. And yeah, this building has, like I said, 1 belt of maintenance drone out. And yeah, it's just easier to brain. And the only ones that break that mindset are concrete, which each of these quadrants make 192, like I said, just because it's tuned to how much the science pack 3 needs. 16 science packs per minute needs 192 concrete, and these I calibrated to multiples of 120, which unfortunately does not sum neatly to 640. Just because, if I'm not mistaken, the amount of cells that are needed for balanced science is something like 105. So overproducing slightly to have just a little bit more maintenance drones, to have a little bit more thermalite sheets and bars to make, for example, like the manufacturer free, which needs the thermalite sheets. Basically we need a little bit of surplus. Technically I need a bit of a surplus of the concrete for construction material as all, but I didn't really build it for now. And like I said, I'm ending the run before I do any cosmetics, so it is what it is. That's pretty much it. And like I mentioned, a lot of it is fed by veins. I've tapped a lot of veins, but also a bunch of the regular ore nodes are being tapped because I kind of want to empty the map out of them. So it's basically a combination of the two. So this is going to go quickly to my power. I don't want this video to be too long, but since power is a huge part of this build, I maxed out prior to doing anything, and I figured I needed about 256 steam turbines, or just over 900 megawatts of power. So that's what I built. And with update 1, there is now a benefit to processing the ignium before feeding it into the boilers. So this build basically processes ignium into cooked ignium. That's what this little island's doing, and then it feeds it into the rows of boilers. So each of this will feed 16 boilers, and I have 6 full belts of ignium coming in from over there, and they are being fed by these 2 veins, 12 plus 13, and I know one of them was it had that bump where it's intersecting with another drill point, so there's only 24, which is 6 full belts, and all of it's being processed into cooked ignium with those balancers, like making sure that it goes where it needs to go. And then yeah, it's basically powering my entire base. I'm not sure if I ever will build solar. I think it just spams too many objects for my taste. So yeah, I'm producing 256 times 3.6 per turbine, and I'm using about 80% of it right now for my build. So if update 1 had not hit with the coke ignium being more efficient for power, I probably would have had to tap extra just to get enough ignium to power my base. But as it is, there was a lucky break, just enough. Well, not just enough, just there's a healthy margin just in case power spikes for whatever reason. Like if I need to put up the what's that, the sensor station again, that's a little bit of power, and then stuff like that, or more ore veins if I ever want to shift completely to ore veins. But yeah, so this build will pump out 64 signs per minute for the next few hours before like the ore patches run out and olemite patches run out. I am going to make the save available probably on the Foundry official Discord. I'll just like post it as an attachment or something. And this this save basically demonstrates a lot of the layouts that I'm using, or the layouts that I describe within the Steam guide that I have. I have a Steam guide that shows like compact layouts, and that's actually like a big part of why I did this run the way I did without using blast furnaces and stuff like that. And oh man, performance for the game. I'm so sorry, dev team. Like, I know this is really pushing the game to its limit. Look, stuff isn't even loading in fast enough, and it looks like someone took a nuke here, and there's just a few buildings left, but it's just taking its time to load in. Yeah, this entire building could be replaced with one blast furnace, and ditto the others over there. So performance could be way better than it is. It's just me being stubborn, wanting to showcase a little bit of maths that has led this save to how it is right now. I'm just gonna wait here till it fully loads in just to see how bad it gets. But oh man, it's so bad. Yep, and of course I do have to have my statue. If I had the inclination to do so, like if performance was better, I probably would have elevated this. So this is the central street. Like there is a very particular view that I wanted to do, which is, you know, tall buildings on either side and then hitting up towards the statue, and then it's backlit by the research there, which kind of turned out way better than I could have ever hoped for. But if I had time, or if I really wanted to proceed with cosmetics of this build, what I would do is elevate this by one floor so that the statue is up. So like these furuways would be like quote unquote ground floor, but the statue would be like up to the first floor or second floor. And then this central throughway would also be elevated, and then the perpendicular ones would be able to go underneath, but the main throughway will be up here, and then the robot would be better centered against the research labs. But again, I don't think I will do that until performance improves. If it does, and then we'll see, like either I will continue this run or I will start another run in update 2, depending on whether like the content of update 2 justifies a new run. So yeah, that's the build. And I can't believe I've been talking for 25 minutes straight. I'm usually not this chatty at all. There we are, 48. Not sure whether it's going to stick at 48 or just fluctuate between 47 and 49 again. But yeah, that's 64 per minute science build. Hashtag no blast furnaces. Hashtag no robot production line. Why? On the flip side, like maintenance drones probably is less performance intensive than robots, because robots take an absolute amount of footprint and infrastructure to make this the same amount of thermalite profit. They do trade, if I'm not mistaken, they take less xenoferrite and technum, but they do take more olemite and telluride. There's a small telluride thing that I have here, which is feeding my Science Pack 5 via the CPUs, but I'm just not going to go there because it's so fast digital. That thing scales up if you decide to go robot production line, but I didn't, again because I wanted to have this FPS destroying benchmark. So yeah, like I said, this save is probably going to be available on the Foundry official Discord. I'll post it maybe in the video section accompanying the link to this video or something. So yeah, have a good day. We are done with Foundry Update 1 completely.